Well, what is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. I guess I've got some cool fixed blades to talk about today. These are the Tactical Everyday Dad, or TED, fixed blades that he released just a month or so ago. Each of them is very different. Each of them is unique. Each of them is very cool. Each is made by a small maker. A couple of them are made in, I think, his home state. One is made in California. He designed these and brought them to market in very short order, and I really, really like them. Let's take a look at what you get. Before I go any further, a couple of these are on pre-order. They're all on pre-order. Some of them are actually on sale on pre-order, and I'll put that information in the description below so you can check them out if you're interested. Let's start with the Grizzler. All of them are named after bears. This is the Grizzler. And I am a fan of this knife. This comes in either Nitro V or Magna Cut. That's right, Magna Cut. It is a Tanto with a little bit of belly. This one has been worked pretty good. The acid etch has come off in a couple of spots. It is a relatively small knife and yet packs a lot of punch. I really like it. This is hollow ground. It's actually a compound grind. It's hollow ground through the belly and then a little more robust at the tip. As you can see, it's got jimping here and then forward, which is perfect for getting your finger down for working on the board. It is milled G10, and of course it uses very nice standard screws, so you can take these scales off and replace them or do anything you want. This is a great knife. Comes with a very nice, apparently I'm going to drop stuff today. Hopefully not the knife. Very nice Kodiak sheath. Fitment is excellent. The Nitro V version of this right now is $210 pre-order. The Magna Cut is $245. This is an excellent EDC sized knife, right? I mean, what are we looking at here? The total knife is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 7 inches tip to tail. You get 3¼ inches of cutting on a little over 3¼ inches of overall blade. The grip area is 3½. It is a really nicely sized knife. Now, because it has a very neutral handle shape, it's got a nice spot for a lanyard if you're into that sort of thing. It fits my big old hands. It fits Christine's smaller hands. This is a very comfortable working tool. I have very much enjoyed doing my daily cutting with this. If you're in a place where you can carry a fixed blade as your EDC, this is an excellent option. Now, it is a little tactical in its design, right? The aesthetic of it in particular, it is very pokey, right where you'd want it to be. But I have done all of my daily cutting. The nice thing about being on vacation for the last couple of weeks is that I've been able to carry a fixed blade, which I can't do at work. And so this thing has seen a ton of use. I took it to Oregon with me and did my cutting there with it. It's just a great knife. And, you know, for between $210 and $245, it really is well done. Let's get you take a look at that hollow grind. Now, I know a lot of outdoor knives don't do hollow grinds. I get it. You know, if you're looking for a pocket axe, this isn't going to do it. But I'll tell you, boy, as an everyday cutter and as a useful tool, both in the field and in the house, the Grizzler here is an excellent option. So let's go ahead and move that up, because the next thing we're going to look at is the Kermode, also named after a bear. This is a much more traditional sort of camp knife, except that it's also Tanto. Look at the way this is done. Nice and robust down to a nice edge, right? It's a zero edge, right? So it's convex grind. It again has the jimping here and up here at the tip, right where your finger lands. It's got a more traditional sort of outdoor grip, right? Still very comfortable. This is Magna Cut. This, of course, is a prototype, and as you can see, it says Magna Cut right there on the blade. This is my first experience with Magna Cut, and holy crap, does this thing hold an edge. I love his logo. Can we just take a minute and appreciate that? I said this in my lives, I'll say it again. In a world just laced with screaming eagles and death's heads and, you know, whatever, Tactical Everyday Dad, or TED, chose Come on. And it's fantastic, right? Laser etched onto the blade. This is an excellent carry. This is just an excellent knife, hands down. The way that he's done this sort of tanto shape at the tip means you've got plenty of nice belly right here for doing cuts this way. It is great for piercing cuts. Look how robust the tip of that thing is, right? And yet, very sharp. The ones that you get will have red G10 on the inside of the micarta instead of white. This is just something he did for his proto, but it'll have the same brass pin and brass back here at the lanyard tube. God, this is a really good knife. Now, these are $275, or you could get maple burl scales, and I don't have one of those, for $285. $275 for Magna Cut made this well. Come on. So we're going to go ahead and set these to the side. Now let's bring out the big dog. This is the Kodiak. This really appeals to me. This, of course, is the biggest of the three. It is 1095 high carbon. It has this fantastic forge hammer kind of scale design on it. It is compound ground, just like the Grizzler here, only just writ large. Now, on this one, the laser etch of his logo is down on the blade. He's going to move it up here for the production. These are $290, and you get a just fantastic knife. Now, much like these other two, I took this to Oregon with me, and I played around with it. You can feather stick with this monster. You can kitchen use this monster. Now, it is $10.95. You're going to have to do a little more blade care than you would on either the Nitro V or the Magna Cut. But if you've had outdoor knives in $10.95, you know it doesn't take much. And this thing, it splits wood, which I have done. You can feather stick with it, which I have done. I've cut food with it. I love the Kodiak. I really do. This is just a beast mode knife. Oh, I forgot to do this. Step back real quick. Let's do the quick specs on the Kerr-Mode. Sorry about that. Kerr-Mode is a little over 3.5. It's 3.5 inches of cutting on that Magna Cut, on 3 3/4 inches of overall blade. The grip area from just behind that swell, you're looking at 3.5 inches. Now, I have big hands, right? So I roll off the end a little bit. But much like the Grizzler, the way he's done this shape, and because of this belly, you get a fantastic grip. All right. And the overall knife, is, what are we looking at? 7 1/4. Also an excellent EDC size knife. The Kodiak is another story. This is a full-size knife for full-size hands. Please note, on the production versions, the screws will be realigned a little bit so that they're not cutting into these stripes, so you're not getting these little sort of sharp edges. He did notice that. The nice thing about doing prototypes is that you can make changes. You will get the same red liners, same G10. He had 3 of these made, and the maker manages to produce them. It is a small shop, but they all came out looking very similar. So it's important because it means that if you want this knife, you're going to get this knife. Even though they are custom, he is following a pattern, which I think is a really nice touch. So let's take a look at the specs here on the Kodiak is fantastic. So you get 4 3/4 inches of cutting on a little over 5 inches of 1095 overall blade. The grip area from behind this wonderful catch right here is 4 full inches, right? So plenty of room, even for bigger hands. Because it is shaped very much like the Kerr-Mode here, you get a fantastic amount of grip, and this is great for a swing. The tip on this, right? Now remember, it's hollow ground back here. This is flat ground. The tip stays very, very strong, nicely robust. So if you need to push into material with this, you absolutely can. As I said, I did some feather sticking with all of these. Now, usually when a blade is this tall, I kind of wrestle with my feather sticks because I'm not a pro. But because of the hollow grind and because of the way this thing is shaped, you can get in there and feather stick absolutely beautifully with this thing. This is a joy. Now, these are $290, which is not inexpensive for $10.95, But for custom work, $290 is exceptionally reasonable. And you get a really well-made Kodiak sheath. I can speak, watch me go for this. You get a really well-made Kodiak sheath for the Kermode. And of course, as I showed you, you get a good one for the Grizzler as well. Anthony, the guy that runs Tactical Everyday Dad, is a knife nut who had decided to bring his vision of what good EDC knives and a good field knife would be to life. And I love that. I really do. And I hope very much that you guys will get in on the pre-orders now that Christmas is over. You got a little money to spend on yourself again. Maybe you got some Christmas money. This would be an excellent way to spend some of that Christmas money. Do I have a favorite? Well, that's tough. So I'm not really a tactical guy. We've talked about that. My cat is making the weirdest noise. We've talked about that. So while I do love the Grizzler as an EDC knife, my two favorite are by far the Kermode and the Kodiak. And these would make an excellent outdoor combo. Right? This one in MagnaCut does everything you need to. I use this in the kitchen a little bit just to test it. Now, because it is a Tanto style blade, that's his jam. It's not really good for rocking cuts so much, but you can, because of the shape, get the blade basically flush on the mat. So if you wanted to even cut really thin onions, you could. It would work for that. This is a well-sorted tool. And if you needed to chop something to bits, and maybe give somebody a little poke to move them along, the Kodiak, God, this is just a great knife. It really is. All three of these are just an absolute joy to use. We'll do some basic size comparison stuff with the tools I usually use, just so you can see kind of what we're into. We'll move that down so you can still see it. We'll go in order of size. Here it is against the Rat Model 1. Now I know these are fixed. This is a folder, but this really will help. As you can see, we'll do it this way. We'll put the Rat 1 here. This, of course, is a BJ Hill exclusive that has been modified. We'll line the tip up. As you can see, Kodiak is a big knife, right? The Kermode is much more in line, right? Blade size, at least, with the Rat 1 here. But as you can see, it is a much, much more compact carry. Excellent EDC size tool. And the Grizzler, again, right? You get about the same amount of cutting as you would on a traditional Rat 1, but just the handle's a lot shorter. But again, because of the way this is shaped, right? It's got a little swell back here, a little swell down here. This thing locks into the hand really well. Look, I'm a fan. I admit it. I'm a fan. I love fixed blades. I have a much smaller fixed blade collection than I do folder collection. But the ones that I have are very meaningful to me and are very, very good at what they do, which is why I've got a JX5 and why I've got a couple of other Bark Rivers and why I've got some Papa Bear knife stuff. Unlike folders, which I buy in budget and expensive and all sorts of things because they appeal to me in many different ways, fixed blades tend to catch me for very specific reasons. All three of these would find a very good home in my collection, and in fact, they will. If you are looking for a way to support a guy in the knife community, support small business, all these come from shops in various states. They are all handmade. If you are looking for a way to get into custom knives that won't break the bank, if you are looking for good, useful tools that are going to last you a lifetime that won't break the bank, the Tactical Everyday Dad, or TED knives here are a great way to go. Links to his website will be in the description. I hope you've enjoyed this look at the TED. Teddy, I love that so much. I really do. Don't sleep on these. Seriously, if you guys are looking for a great knife that won't break the bank. Now, I admit, okay, all of them are over $200. None of these are budget knives, but you're not going to find custom fixed blades in the budget range. You just aren't. You're going to find high quality stuff, though, from a really nice guy with a great eye for design from good makers if you follow up on these, and I hope that you do. And we're going to go ahead and leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. These have been the Tactical Everyday Dad fixed blades that dropped about a month ago. I have been a Therapeutic Edge. Once again, links to these will be down in the description. I hope you guys are having a great after Christmas and or New Year's experience. We'll see you next time.